Welcome to Le Podcast de Philippe. Today we're going deep into AI, artificial intelligence and its global impact. We'll be looking at a recent summit in Paris. Macron and Trudeau were there. They discussed the future of AI. We're going to focus on something pretty important, international collaboration shaping AI development. We're also going to use Notebook LM to analyze their speeches. It's a cool tool that helps us understand the nuances and what they really mean.
It's fascinating to see these global leaders recognizing AI's importance.
The summit really pushed international cooperation in AI development, didn't it?
Absolutely. And we'll definitely be examining the global partnership on AI. It has the backing of 44 countries and growing. It's all about making sure AI benefits everyone.
So it seems like they both agree that AI can't just benefit a few countries, right? What did Trudeau have to say about all of this?
Well, he's really excited about AI's potential in everyday life, but he's also very clear that it needs to be developed responsibly. We don't want it to make existing inequalities worse.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, you mentioned Notebook LM before. Can you tell us more about it and how it helps us understand these speeches?
Sure. It uses machine learning to analyze text. It identifies key themes and even finds connections between ideas that might not be obvious. When we used it on Macron and Trudeau's speeches, some interesting things came up, like Macron's focus on transparency in AI algorithms. He thinks open databases are really important for training these models fairly, especially for language models. We need to avoid bias.
Can you explain a little more about bias in AI? Why is that a concern?
Well, imagine an AI hiring tool that's trained on data where most CEOs were men. It might unfairly penalize women applicants. That's why Macron emphasizes diverse data, to avoid perpetuating biases we already have in society.
It sounds like Macron's focus on diverse data really matches Trudeau's push for inclusivity. He even compared AI to the advent of electricity, arguing it could revolutionize our lives in a similar way.
It's a powerful analogy. Electricity changed everything, and AI could too. Notebook LM also highlighted the urgency both leaders feel about this. They stressed that the decisions we make now will have lasting impacts.
Why the rush? It seems like AI is still in its early stages.
True, but those decisions are crucial. They'll shape the future of AI, its ethics, and its impact on society.
I'm starting to see how big this is. But how does this relate to our listeners? Why should they care about what's happening at a global level?
Because AI is already impacting your lives, whether you realize it or not. The algorithms behind social media, those voice assistants on your phones, AI is shaping your experiences, and it's only going to grow. Think about how it might affect your work or your daily life, even your future opportunities.
This is a global wake-up call for sure. It's not just some abstract technology. It's actively shaping our world. And we need to be a part of that.
Exactly. What areas of AI intrigue you or concern you? What are your hopes or fears about its future?
Those are important questions for all of us to think about. This has been really eye-opening.
It's been great exploring this with you. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the things Notebook LM helped us uncover from Macron and Trudeau's speeches.
It's been a valuable tool. What are some key takeaways about their thinking?
One of the most striking things is their shared emphasis on a human-centered approach to AI.
So it's not about AI surpassing human intelligence, but about complementing and augmenting it.
Precisely. They both stress that AI should enhance human capabilities, empower individuals, not replace us or devalue human agency.
It's about AI working with us, not against us.
Right. And this ties into their focus on ethics and responsibility in AI development. Both leaders highlighted the need for fairness, transparency, and accountability in these systems.
So it sounds like they're calling for a sort of ethical framework for AI development, one that's in line with human values and principles.
Exactly. They both emphasize the importance of guidelines and regulations, governing the development and use of AI to avoid harm and ensure its benefits.
It's encouraging to see a global push to ensure that AI benefits all of humanity. Initiatives like the Global Partnership on AI are definitely a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. This is a movement that's going to continue to gain momentum as AI evolves and its impact grows.
It's clear that this is a crucial moment. What we decide now will have huge consequences for technology and humanity.
The future of AI is in our hands. That's exciting and a little daunting, but it also means we have power. We have the opportunity to shape this technology and make sure it leads to a positive future.
This deep dive has been so insightful. We've explored so much: the summit in Paris, the potential benefits and risks, and the ways AI is already part of our lives. But before we wrap up this part, I want to bring back to you, the listener.
That's a great idea. Let's connect this global discussion back to the individual.
What areas of AI are most interesting to you or worry you? What are your hopes and fears about the future of AI?
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how AI is already impacting your life, like right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much it's already affecting them.
You're right, even if you aren't in tech or you don't follow all the AI news, it's already shaping your experiences
Yeah.
in ways you might not even notice. Like, think about the recommendations you get on streaming services or online stores. That's AI.
It's true, those personalized suggestions are everywhere now.
Exactly. And it's not just recommendations. AI powers facial recognition on your phone, voice assistants, even navigation apps when you're driving in a new city.
Wow, it's incredible how integrated it's become.
And as AI keeps evolving, we can expect even bigger changes in how we live and work, interact with the world. Take healthcare, for example. We're already seeing AI being used to personalize treatments for things like cancer, even help surgeons during complex procedures. It can even analyze medical images to find abnormalities.
It's amazing the potential for AI to change healthcare. Earlier diagnoses, more effective treatments, maybe even cures for diseases we can't cure now.
It's groundbreaking stuff. And then there's education. Imagine AI tutors that adapt to each student's needs. It can make learning so much more effective and efficient.
That could totally revolutionize education, make it accessible, engaging, and personalized.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond traditional schooling. AI can be part of lifelong learning, helping people adapt to new jobs and acquire new skills throughout their lives.
That's so important these days, with jobs and skills changing all the time. AI could be the key to staying ahead of the curve.
You got it. And then there's transportation. Self-driving cars are already being developed. They have the potential to totally transform how we get around, make it safer, more efficient, more accessible.
It's wild to think about a future where our cars drive themselves. We'll have so much more free time and mental space.
Yeah, it's a huge paradigm shift. These are just a few examples of how AI is shaping things today and how much potential it has for the future. It's not just technology. It's a force for change that could affect every part of society.
With all this potential, what are the big questions we should be asking ourselves about the future of AI?
Well, one of the most important is, how do we make sure it's developed and used ethically and responsibly? How do we make sure it's a force for good?
Right, because how do we stop it from being harmful or used for the wrong reasons?
I think we need to have these open and honest conversations about the risks and benefits of AI. And we need to include everyone in those conversations, not just the tech experts, ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, the public too.
So creating a framework that puts human values and well-being first.
Yes, exactly. And that framework needs to be something we constantly evaluate and adapt as AI changes. Another big question is, how do we make sure the benefits of AI are shared fairly?
Yeah, we don't want AI to make existing inequalities worse or create new ones. It needs to be accessible to everyone, no matter their background.
Absolutely. We need to develop and deploy AI in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
These are some seriously complex issues to tackle as AI keeps advancing. It's great to see initiatives like the Global Partnership on AI pushing for international collaboration and responsible AI development.
Definitely the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're creating right now. By talking about it, asking tough questions, and working together to find ethical and responsible solutions, we can steer it in the right direction.
So we've looked at the global implications of AI, the potential pros and cons, and how it's already part of our lives. But before we finish up this part, let's go back to Notebook LM and what it revealed about Macron and Trudeau's thinking.
Yeah, the analysis was really insightful. It highlighted their shared belief in a human-centered approach to AI development.
It makes sense. It ties into what we've been talking about, making sure AI serves humanity and not the other way around. Can you unpack that a little more?
They both talked about how AI should empower people and enhance what humans are capable of, not replace us or make us less important. It's about complementing our intelligence and creativity, not trying to outdo us.
So working in harmony, not in competition.
Exactly, and that goes hand in hand with their focus on ethics and responsible development. They talked about fairness, transparency, and accountability.
It's like they're calling for an ethical code for AI development, something aligned with human values and principles.
Right. They want guidelines and regulations in place to make sure AI is used for good and doesn't cause harm.
Their support for the Global Partnership on AI shows they're taking a proactive stance in shaping the future of AI.
It's encouraging to see this global movement towards responsible AI development. It's something that'll become even more important as AI continues to evolve.
We are at a crucial point in the history of AI. The decisions we make now will shape the future of technology and humanity.
You're absolutely right. The future of AI is in our hands. It's both exciting and a little scary, but it also gives us power. We can shape this technology and guide it toward a positive future.
This deep dive has been incredible. We've gone from the Paris Summit to ethical considerations to the very real ways AI is already affecting our lives. But before we move on to the final part, I want to bring it back to you, the listener.
It's important to connect this global conversation to each individual's experience.
As we head into the last part of our deep dive, we want to hear from you. What aspects of AI are you most interested in or worried about? What do you hope for or fear about the future of AI?
And maybe most importantly, what role do you see yourself playing in shaping that future? Remember, your voice matters in this.
And we're back to Le Podcast de Philippe. We've been on quite a journey exploring artificial intelligence, from the big global picture to how it's touching our lives every day.
It has been fascinating. We've covered so much ground, from that summit in Paris to what Notebook LM revealed about Macron and Trudeau's speeches. We even looked at how AI could impact things like healthcare and education.
Before we wrap things up, let's take a minute to go over the main points we've discussed. The importance of global cooperation was a big one, right?
Absolutely. Macron and Trudeau both made it clear that AI development shouldn't be a competition. It needs to be a joint effort so everyone benefits. The global partnership on AI is a perfect example of that collaborative spirit.
Their vision for a human-centered approach to AI was really striking as well. The idea that AI should help us and empower us, not replace us.
Right. They want an ethical framework that puts people first. Fairness, transparency, accountability in those systems.
It reminds us that we have a duty to steer AI in the right direction. Make sure it's developed in a way that reflects our values.
And that future isn't set. It's something we're building together right now. The choices we make will have a lasting impact on the world.
As we come to the end of our deep dive, we want to leave you with some things to think about. What parts of AI are you most curious about or worried about? What do you hope for or fear when you think about the future of AI?
And the biggest question of all, what role do you see yourself playing in shaping that future? If AI is really going to be as transformative as electricity, like Trudeau said, we need to be ready for some major changes. What parts of our lives will be most affected? How can we prepare ourselves?
Your voice matters in all of this. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Stay informed advocate for responsible development. Remember, the future of AI is in our hands.
And the more we know about AI, the better we can understand its impact and help shape it for the better.
That's a great point. This wraps up our exploration of AI and its global impact. We hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights and empowered you to be a part of this crucial conversation.
It's been a pleasure exploring all this with you.
And before we go, we have a little treat for you. Ready to impress your friends with some French?
Let's hear it.
Okay, repeat after me. Avec Notebook LM, on analyse le discours de Macron et Trudeau pour le sommet sur l'IA.
Avec Notebook LM, on analyse le discours de Macron et Trudeau pour le sommet sur l'IA.
Excellent. You can now say you learned some French on Le Podcast de Philippe.
C'est magnifique.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers today. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic that's shaping our world. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.